What's up, everybody? Chris Gault here, Healthy Living with Chris Gault. And today I'm going to talk about a movie called The Game Changers. I saw it, but now what am I going to do about it? I'm going to let you know right now. Okay, so first, before I get into where do you go now after you watch it, I'm going to talk a little bit about the movie itself. So Game Changers was a movie. Some of the producers was James Cameron, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jackie Chan, so big names, and it's a big name movie. And it had to do with elite athletes changing their diet from animal proteins to a completely plant-based diet to actually improve their ability to do their sport and to improve their athletic performance, basically. So, kind of debunks a little bit out there, because in the past, everyone said that you can't, you can't get strong because you're not getting enough protein if you don't eat the animals. And what they show, because you can't get the same amount of quality protein from plants. And what the movie's about is actually shows how you can actually get better quality protein straight from the plants, because the animals themselves get it from the plants. And then when you eat the animal, the protein's a byproduct from them eating it from the plants. So there is protein in just about every plant that's out there. If you mix your vegetables and fruits up and your grains and your legumes, you're going to get a good mix of protein in there. You can get very high quality protein, and you'll get the complete protein. It's also said that you can't get complete protein, which is all your 16 essential amino acids that your body doesn't produce, if you just eat plants. But that's not true. That's been debunked, and you can. And some of these top athletes are vegan. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger now is probably about 99% vegan. So he's very close. And if you look at some of these other athletes that went 100% that way, they're doing fantastic. And there's if you watch the movie, you'll see there's an Olympic lifter. I can't remember his name, but he's a weightlifter in the Olympics, and he's completely plant-based. And there's actually the guy who's known as the strongest man in the world actually is plant-based. And then it started to get me thinking that, you look at a gorilla or a rhino or a hippo, and they have a lot of muscle on those animals. They're huge, and they get their protein from plants. They don't get it from eating other animals. They are not carnivores. Either is a giraffe. So how does a giraffe or a cow, let's say, how do they get so big? Like take a bull. A bull is not only big, but has a lot of muscle on it. So a lot more muscle than any human being has. So the question is how do these animals get so big while just eating plants? And the reason why is because quality protein can be found in the plants. So what does that mean? Where do we go from here? Yeah, so where do we go from here now? Now that we know that you can get quality protein from plants alone, you don't have to eat the animals. In fact, the animals are just a byproduct. And one of the bad things is because these big farms cram all these animals into small spaces, they actually emit a lot of greenhouse gases, so it's not really good for the environment, but also they get sick. And because they get sick, you got to pump them full of steroids and antibiotics just to keep them alive. And that way, not only are you not getting a quality protein, because they're getting it from the plants, they're getting it from the source, you're getting it from the middleman, but you're also getting an animal that is sick and has enzymes in it and all that kind of stuff, which just enhances the chance of you getting sick. And that goes with dairy and eggs and everything else, because if a cow is forced to sit in a tiny little trough its whole life, and it's going to be under stress, and it's lactating its whole life because they have to keep milking the cow. Once the cow gives birth, then it lactates and it can give milk. And then they separate the little cow from the baby cow from the mother cow, which causes a lot of stress right there. Then they put the mother cow in a little tiny box and milk her constantly to keep her lactating for her whole life. And basically she lives in a box. So that animal obviously is not living a good life. And because of that, you're not really getting a quality protein. And there are other ways to get quality protein without going that route. And so, and there's certain things that I found that because like again you research things, but there's a certain amount of pus that is allowed by the USDA in the animal in the milk that you drink. So you're drinking like not only just milk, which is kind of weird anyway. You think about it. I mean, think about you in the humans. You drink, baby drinks breast milk. You're basically drinking, if you drink milk, it's basically breast milk from a cow. I mean, it's not even the same species. It wasn't meant. I mean, we weren't meant to drink something that was meant for baby cows, and we're going to put that in our bodies, and we're humans. So the whole thing doesn't make sense anyway. But then also on top of that, not only they could be sick and have a lot of antibiotics and steroids in them, but then you're also drinking pus that is from like a wound in the cow, and pus comes out of that wound and ends up in the milk, and so you're drinking pus. There's a certain amount of that pus that's allowed to be in the milk. So that right there is kind of weird if you think about it. So anyway, taking all that into account, and then I started looking at other videos. So what comes next when you watch that movie is to research other more into it. You want to research more because you just don't want to go by one movie. And I saw a bunch of other movies out there like What the Health, and I think Joaquin Phoenix is the director of that, and he was the one who won the best actor, won an Oscar award for portraying the Joker. But anyway, that was his movie, and there are a bunch of other movies out there. Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead is another one. There's a bunch of them out there. What do they do next is to look at other things and at least research what's going on. And when you research what's going on in the animal protein or animal product world, it's not a pretty one. The animals are treated very poorly. They're dragged around. They live in little boxes, like I said. And also, like I said, it doesn't really do a great job to the environment. So what's next for me is to actually realize this is a reality. This is real. And because it's real, I need to act on it. So as long as it doesn't hurt my health and I can eat good, in fact, I think it's actually helping my health out. I'm actually feeling much better now being plant-based. I've been plant-based now for over 2 months and going strong. But what I've done is I've actually looked at what's really going on out there, and then I make a real decision. And I made the decision not to eat animal products anymore or use animal products anymore, and that way the animals could be treated fairly. Because you think about it, there's not much difference between a cow, a horse, or a dog. You treat the horse and the dog well. People keep them as pets, but then the cow, you treat horribly. Like it's interesting how that works. But anyway, my thing was, I think if anything, at least had the open mind to look into what's really going on in the world, and then you can make that decision. That's what's next after that movie. So that's what the video is about, is like, what do I do? If I watch the Game Changers, what do I do next? Well, one, the good thing is, if you move towards that plant-based diet, then it's going to help you out physically. But just make sure, you're mixing the vegetables up and the plants up, because that way, you get good nutrients. You don't want to just go and buy a bunch of processed vegan food. That's not going to do you anything good. Just like eating a bunch of processed non-vegan food is not good. So you want to be careful there. You want to eat, mainly whole foods. That will work best. But the other thing is research what really is going on out there, and then make an informed decision if this is something you want to do the rest of your life. I would say at least everyone should give it a try, and you give it a month. You give it a month, and you try it. And I think you will feel fantastic, and you also feel good that you're doing something good, not only for the animals, but also for the environment. So it's a win-win-win, because you're helping yourself, you're helping the animals, you're helping the world. I mean, what more can we ask for? And, you know, there are a lot of diseases out there. We know the coronavirus is one of them. And those diseases typically come from not necessarily consuming animals, but from interaction with animals. And so we got to be a little careful about how we interact with wild animals, and because they are wild, and they're meant to be free, and not meant to be like with us or consumed. But anyway, that's all I had to say. Again, I just want to say one last thing, though. You know, I'm not judging anybody on what kind of meal they want to have, what they want to do with their lives. I mean, that's really 100% up to you. And, you know, my best friends are carnivores. They eat. I'm not going to give them a hard time. I'm not even going to talk to them about it. So I just want to say that, you know, I'm not going to give anyone a hard time for not being vegan. I mean, that's a personal choice, and that's a choice that we all have to make. What I do ask is that, you know, you actually research and see what's going on in the world, and then you can make good decisions. And that's all I was trying to do with this video. So again, if you haven't watched the movie The Game Changers, it's a pretty cool movie anyway. I think you'd really enjoy it. You'll see a lot of elite athletes and how the diet has affected them, and you will then you can go from there and you can decide what you want to do. But anyway, that's all I had to say, and I will see you in the next video. See you, everybody. Stay safe. If you like this video, please click on the thumbs up button, and also please subscribe and click on the notification button to get all this great content that's coming up every week. Thank you.